Hey everyone, I'm back. So now let's talk about the horrible season that is in football. The New York Giants. New York Giants season obviously has been over for a while, but now it's dead, buried, and now you look on for the future this season, and more than just the future of next season. The future meaning the future of New York Giants like 10 years from now. Unfortunately, it looks like Eli Manning probably, maybe not this season. At least I'm hoping not this season because I don't think they should do that. But in the next seasons, I don't think he's going to be looked at as the time is now to get him to help us win one more, Super Bowl. He's going to be seen as someone who's, I wouldn't say a dead man walking, but someone that's not going to be here maybe, after this season. I hope they don't take action now because, one, Davis Webb has been inactive. I mean, yes, he's dressed, but he has even been the backup quarterback to Eli Manning. So I don't think you could put him in, especially how awful the season has gone with the offensive line and all these different things. I just don't see how you could do that to someone who hasn't even, isn't even the backup quarterback. So I don't think they're going to go that route, but this offseason is going to be interesting. The Giants usually never fire a GM or a head coach after one season like this, although Jerry Reese is a different story because he's been here a lot longer, and this team looked like it had a chance. It had definitely was guaranteed. I wouldn't say guaranteed because obviously look what happened. That annuls that guarantee, but it was pretty much thought of that they were going to make the playoffs and have a good run. And that, maybe that they would make it to the Super Bowl. But obviously that hasn't happened. It's crashed and burned. They're 1-7. Came off a bye and they got destroyed by the Los Angeles Rams. And everything's off the rails with players being suspended and people not listening. And then now that game, I would never say ever just because in sports in general, especially in the NFL, you can't quit. So I'm not going to say they quit, but they really came out lackluster and just came out with not that much effort and looked like not much interest in that game. Maybe it was just because it got out of hand, they became overwhelmed, and then they were like, that was it. They thought we can't come back from this, and that was that. But we got to, now there's things that have happened. Looks like most likely, I don't know for sure, but Ben McAdoo's probably going to be gone. Jerry Reese should be gone. And let's see what they do about Eli Manning. Because Eli Manning, he's been in this league a long time. He's won 2 Super Bowls for the team, but it's the NFL, and I know the whole term is, what have you done for me lately? He's 36 years old. He has 2 more years on his contract. You can't release him because I think it wouldn't be good for the Giants with their cap hit. So, I don't know. What they're probably going to do is, I hope, at least for this season, keep that active streak going of how many games he's played. I think that's important because Eli Manning, yes, he's struggled and he's not good right now. But he does not deserve to be taking his job away and giving it to someone who has even... I wouldn't give it to Geno Smith because Geno Smith is a backup and he's not going to do anything good and just could make things worse. Now, if Davis Webb looked like he had promise and that he looked like he really knows what he was doing, then maybe look at him. But I don't think you can because he has not played. He's been inactive. He's been suited up, but he's not inactive. So that means he's not even getting the backup quarterback reps. So I don't think you could do that either. And especially also, if let's say this team did quit, how much worse do you think it would get if Ben McAdoo, whoever is the one that tells the players, hey guys, Eli Manning's no longer your quarterback now. Now it's going to be Davis Webb. I just think it will make it worse because there's another 7 or 8 games, I believe, left for the Giants. And you can't, no, I believe 7. You can't have that because 7 games left. A lot of things could happen. So, especially next week, Eli Manning would tie the streak with his brother, Peyton Manning. And so things like that, I think he's earned the job to stay here this season and see what happens in the offseason. I don't know if you make a trade or something, but things are going to be changing after this season with the New York Giants. There's already reports that Mara, the owner, had some scouts come check out some of the college games with Sam Darnold or Darnold or Josh Rosen, and things like that. So looks like they're gonna look at a quarterback for the future. Now the way this is tricky because now you have Davis, who looked like he was the third round quarterback, but maybe he'd be the quarterback for Eli Manning after the 2 years is up. Now that's a problem because now unfortunately you do have to see what he has, I guess, right? Because you got to see what he has before you do something else. But I mean, maybe you could do this, and it's kind of like a little fugazi, but you could have Eli Manning play the first quarter or two, or play maybe just the first quarter, then have Davis Webb come in and play the next 3 quarters of every game. Do it like that. That means you got 2 quarterbacks, and if you have 2 quarterbacks, you have no quarterbacks, because usually that's not good either. But that's a way of going about it. You could do that. I don't think you could take Eli Manning out, because if you take him out, then you can't bring him back in. Because it's like, you took him out, that's it. But you can't, like, oh man, this guy really is bad. He's horrible. Talking about Davis. Can't go back to Eli Manning, because then it looks like, whoa, you're putting me back in after it just would be an issue. So it's a delicate situation. Who knows? Maybe if, looks like the Giants going to have more garbage time. Maybe in the fourth quarter when it's another blowout. Hopefully not as bad as this blowout. But if there's another blowout, then maybe you could put Davis in there. Take Eli Manning out, save him, and put Davis in, see what he's got. But it's going to be a weird season going forward, because you have so many more games left, and you got to see what's going to happen and what it is. But I just think keep Eli Manning as the quarterback this year, and also keep him next year, and maybe you do this almost like a Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers. Now I know Eli Manning is obviously not Brett Favre or Aaron Rodgers, but Eli Manning is a good quarterback, and he's always treated people with respect, and I'm sure he wants to play, and I think he should play, and he wouldn't say anything else. Maybe you do that. You keep him for the 2 years you have him. You have him play, but he mentors the backup quarterback. He has him, shows him some things, teaches him things, and when 2 years is up, hopefully it's a somewhat seamless transition. You have new management come in, and hopefully they'll want to keep Manning, because it's going to be interesting. I mean, yes, there's a market for quarterbacks, but who? Now, I know some people might say, who? I mean, yeah, there were talks about the Packers for this season, but see, I don't think that would make sense, because it would make more sense if Eli Manning, this was his last year on the deal, and they worked out some trade where Eli Manning was with the Packers for this one season, then they don't have to work with him after that. I just don't think that would have been feasible. I was thinking maybe the Broncos. They already had Peyton Manning. Why not have Eli Manning? He's better than the quarterbacks that the Broncos have now. And, who knows? Maybe you could get some kind of picks for it. Decent picks for it from the Broncos. Because I know John Elway is a good guy, but he's probably not happy with what's going on with the quarterback situation there. Because they have a good defense, and everything looks pretty solid. But their quarterback play, and the defense has gone down a little bit, yeah. But it's not, like, egregiously horrible, But maybe you do that. Some people say the Texans, but again, what are you going to do? That means when Deshaun Watson comes back, you're going to put Eli Manning on the shelf. I don't think you want to do that. Who knows? But also there were talks about, that the Giants tell Eli Manning, listen, you got to take a pay cut, and you become the backup eventually. You become the backup next season or so. I don't think Eli Manning should do that, and I don't think Eli Manning would do that. Eli Manning has earned a lot of respect in this league, and I know this is a business, and look what happened with the Giants did to their quarterback, who used to be the all-time Giant quarterback with them in the 80s. And look what happened with him, and he got released, and everyone wasn't happy with that, and that was even a more egregious thing, to have happen. And I have Eli Manning, who's won 2 Super Bowls, and he's never disrespected the organization. He's always came through in the playoffs. He's won Walter Payton Man of the Year award, and things like that. But what are you gonna do? You can't. It's just a tough spot they're in. And then another thing the Giants have to worry about is their defense. Their defense, I don't know what's going on. Some of it is, players have been out, like Norris was out because of the suspension. Then the week before that, Cromartie was out, and all these things. So you have something like that, but Landon Collins also, he's a good player, but I think what happens is, unfortunately, when you're that good, they figure you out. Now they may not be able to stop you, but what they could do is change things around and not let people come by you, so you can't get the tackle, you can't get that interception. So they prevent you to do things, and they're making you, basically, they're either double teaming you or they're putting you somewhere where they're not going to throw to that person, and that's so they're neutralizing him in a way. So yeah, we'll see what the Giants are going to do. I mean, it's going to be a tricky situation overall for everything. But I do think if you're going to blow this up, like everyone's predicting is going to happen, then Ben McAdoo has to go. And Jerry Reese definitely has to go. And then you got to see about who who the new people want to keep in. If you're going to go internal, then you're probably going to keep a lot of people. But if you're going to go external, whoever has those 1-year contracts or whoever looks like it's not going to be for the future, then you're going to have to decide what to do. And so the situation I was talking about with the quarterback was Phil Simms. Phil Simms was a good quarterback and was the all-time quarterback for the Giants until Eli Manning came along, and now he's the all-time for the Giants quarterback. But Phil Simms was a good quarterback. Everyone loved him, and even the owners of the Giants at the time, I think it was the Mara person, he said he cried when he released him. And so, which never been talked about before. So, we'll see. If I guess they can let Phil Simms go, I guess Eli Manning will definitely be in that position. But this is what I think the Giants going to do. Is I think they keep Eli Manning, have him play, get a quarterback for the future in the first round draft, and have a mentor until it's time that you think this quarterback could be better than Eli and bring him in, I guess. That's the way you're going to have to do it. And we'll see. Other than that, it's going to be a long 7 games left. And then we'll see you in the off season. All right.